Stored stories. Who'd like to get rid of all those stories that we're projecting onto our beautiful people in our lives and co-creating from that? Yeah, well, first of all, you have to have the awareness to change. If we don't know what it is, how can we fix it? We've got to know what the issue is, and then we can find a solution. But we've got to know what the cause is. So, stored diseases, stored toxins are the stories. Is that easy? And so that's why the diet and lifestyle and nutritional awareness and planning, and it's perfect for the subconscious bodily template, is absolutely essential. Because as I've been through 4 or 5 years of solid detoxification at this point, and the amount of stories that comes out every single time is quite stunning. It's like, I used to think like that. Now, after getting rid of that from a cleanse from a certain particular part of the body, then the stories that were stored in that area are now disappeared, and they're not part of my world. My subconscious mind doesn't give me the stories into my conscious mind that it used to do. So, for instance, the liver and gallbladder was always a big one for me and everyone in the Western world, especially men, but everyone really. So I was co-creating a lot of angry experiences. I'd be thinking competitively all the time. How can I get that person? How can I do this? I'm like competing with myself a lot, which is really not healthy. But, we learn. And of course, that's because the liver and gallbladder was using a lot of energy and focus in my subconscious mind, and then the spleen was deficient as a result because they're along that nervous system line and the spinal section of the thoracic. So, my subconscious thoughts and the ones that were popping into my conscious mind were things like, I gotta get past that person in the car, that person's really slow, they're just driving slow, I gotta get past them. There's a competition within myself that I'd project. And then I'd also be angry at pretty much the world. When I started cleaning that liver and the gallbladder, then those thoughts would disappear and I was more at peace and comfortable with the world. So now I do it on a regular basis. It's part of my world, it's beautiful. I'll do another one tonight. Yeah, I'll do that. So, and of course, what the proper level yogis and Ayurveda practitioners and people who actually grow on a daily and regular basis, and you can see and feel, they just look 5-10 years younger than everybody else, and that they're actually aged. So what they do generally is they will work on a chakra, or they will work on an area in their body that's a weaker point. So for me, I've been working on urinary tracts for the last 18 months because there's a lot of stored heavy metals because they're heavy and they sink to the bottom of the body. So as a result, I've become aware of a lot of my beliefs around sexuality, my masculinity issues, all this sort of stuff that is starting to disappear from my body, being the subconscious mind, so they don't come to they come to my awareness once I carve them out, and then we learn the lessons of perception. Because if we've got so many stored stories and stored gunk in our subconscious mind, they are naturally projecting into our conscious mind and then into our world, and other people feel and they know it, whether we do or not, because it's subconscious. That's the tricky part. And of course, urinary tract and all the gunk down in here, there's a lot of parasites, critters and gunk that we are unaware of, and this is why we get the symbolism of the serpent being the devil, and the greatest trick that he was able to produce is that they didn't exist. So do parasites exist? Yes, they do. I've got photographic evidence. I've got many of them come out, 55 meters at this point. So anyone with an excess of bloating is going to have hundreds of meters, possibly more. Who knows? Because it's subconscious. That's the tricky part. So that's it, working on one area of the body at a time with the yoga practice, herbal supplements and mineral supplements as well, and diet and lifestyle changes. It is definitely the way to go to adapt to what the body needs at that particular time. So like having one conscious dietary dogma, or I only do this style of yoga, is going to imbalance the individual at some point. So we need to be adaptable and change and flow to what the body needs, not what the mind is projecting. How do you do that? Well, you need to get out of your own perception, essentially. Have a reflection of someone who actually knows as a guide is very helpful, and because there's going to have to be a lot of changes that are made. I've made hundreds in the last 5 years. So adaptability and change to increase our perception, our get rid of the stories that we're projecting, and then by getting rid of the stories on a regular basis, we become closer to our soul because we've cleaned our solar plexus, which is where all of the esoteric teachings will teach us that everything comes from the solar plexus, the subconscious mind, and then spreads throughout the rest of the body. So, interesting one, huh? Let's get rid of the stories, let's get rid of the stored toxins that are holding on to them, and then our body has so much more energy, and we have both spiritual, personal, and mental and emotional freedom. Helpful that, huh?